and then if else if and then nested if. Right now, so we need to discuss the iterative statements. The iterative statements will be classified into two types. That is, one is unconditional and then conditional looping statement. Right. So we have discussed in the previous class. Okay. So unconditional looping statements are, so the repetition, the number of repetitions are unknown. Okay. The number of
A
repetitions are,
specified number of times.
so specified number of times it will be called conditional. Okay, so we know how
Sir, you
many
have
times.
given for unconditional that one.
ನೋಡಿ ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ?
Sir,
No, no.
unconditional get this statement executes a statement on group of statements repeatedly for specified number of
Specified
times.
number of times. Okay, so the conditional statements executes a group of statements repeatedly until some condition is satisfied. Conditional
Yes, sir.
statements, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so while and then do while. Okay, so when we know the specific number of times, so how many times the statements will execute, that will be called unconditional, right? Is that clear? Alva. So
Yes, sir.
conditional looping statements are while and then do while. Okay, unconditional looping statements are only one is that, so that is for. Okay, right. Today we'll discuss while, do while, and then for loop with the definition, syntax, example, and finally flowchart. Okay, so first of all, let us take while loop. While looping or while construct, we can also call it as a while loop. Okay, so I'll consider while loop. Okay, this is unconditional looping statement number one. Okay, so unconditional looping statement number two is do while. Okay, and finally the conditional looping statement only one, that is for. Right. Okay, so while loop is also known as pre-tested looping statement. Okay. Okay, example ಬರ್ದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So it is what we call pre-tested. First of all, it will check the condition. Okay. After that, so it executes the statement repeatedly. When the condition is, okay, is that clear? While loop is also known as pre-tested looping statement. First of all, it checks the condition. After that, it executes the statements. Okay, until until the condition is true, the statement will goes on repeatedly executing. So when the condition falls, the loop will be terminated. The loop will be break out. Okay, the loop will be ended up. Okay, so the while loop is also known as pre-tested looping statement. Okay, next. Here, it checks the condition first. After that, it goes on executing the statement or group of statements until certain conditions get true, will be true. Right here, the statement or number of group of statements will goes on executing. Okay, so until some condition get true. Okay, so when the condition falls, so adanu kuda ಹೇಳೋಣ. The set of statements, are group of, here we are written group of statement, right? So here also we'll write group of statement. The group of statements will goes on executing until condition get false until the condition get false. Okay, so the while loop is also known as pre-tested looping statement. First of all, so next first it checks the condition, and it after that so it executes the statement or the group of statements. Okay, so until some conditions will be true, right? And then the group of statements will goes on executing until it get false. Okay, so it goes on executing repeatedly until some condition get false. So whatever the condition you are given, so that should be false, then only it stops the execution of the statements, right? Okay, so remember this. This is pre-tested looping statement. Okay, so next I will ask you for do while loop. Okay, this is a while loop. While loop is also known as pre-tested looping statement. First of all, it checks the condition, and then so it goes on executing a statement, single statement or multiple group of statements. Okay, until some condition will be true. Okay, so the group of statements will be goes on executing until condition get false. Okay, when the condition false, then loop will be terminated. Okay, so that also you can write. Okay, when the condition false, loop will be terminated. Loop will be terminated. That's it. Right? Clear? Finished? Okay. So can we write syntax for this? Simple syntax. I will tell you. So the three things we need to remember. Okay, is that clear? ಇದಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Pre-tested looping statement. So first of all, it checks the condition. So until the condition is true, so it goes on executing a statement or a group of statements. So when the condition false, the loop will be terminated. Okay, so until the condition get false, so it will repeatedly execute the statements. Okay, while loop. Clear? Finished. Right. Okay, so we'll write now the syntax for this while loop. Okay, see syntax. I'll write syntax, then I will tell you the three things about the looping. Okay. Syntax while. So all should be in small letter. This is the condition, what we need to specify, and then this is a statement. So if the condition is true, then statement will execute. Okay, statement is always terminated by semicolon, or you can have multiple statements here. So while condition, this is a keyword. While is a keyword. Okay, so it executes the group of statements here. Okay, statement 1 to statement n. Okay, right. Now I need to print. Okay, example I'll write here. So it is visible. Is it visible? So I'll write the example here. Okay, look at this example. I need to generate the number from. The problem is generate number from 1 to 5. Right? So in the looping statement, we need to remember three things. One is initialization. The another is condition, and finally increment or decrement. Incrementation nothing but plus plus will write. So what we are doing, C plus plus, right? C plus plus nothing but this is the upgrade version of the C programming. C plus plus, it is incremented by 1. The plus plus indicates that so the variable value is incremented by 1, increased by 1. Okay, right. So the three things are, so here I'll write. First one is initialization of the variable. You should start with some value, right? Either 0 or 1. Any number which gets starts with 0. Okay, so the basic one. Okay, so initialization value, it may be 50. It is an initialization value. Okay, it gets starts from 50 onwards. Next, 100. So it gets started with 100. Okay, with 0 or 1, 10, like that. I need to generate the number from 1 to 5. I need to initialize the variable value by now 1. I need to print the value from 1 to 5 using while loop, using looping concept, right? Okay, so the second thing is condition. I need to specify the condition for looping statement. Okay, next, and finally I need to increment or decrement. Increment or decrement, I write. Okay, so it plus plus indicates that increment, minus minus indicate that decrement. Increment or decrement. Okay, so incrementation nothing but the variable value is increased by 1. Okay, so minus minus indicates that the variable value decreased by 1. Okay, minus minus decrement, plus plus increment. Okay, right. So I need to generate the number from 1 to 5. What will be the initialization value? I need to generate the number from 1 to 5. What are all the numbers? I don't know. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it may be. Okay, I need to get start with the initialization value variable. Okay, I can consider the variable A, I, whatever, any general variable. So Everyone, Sumuk, Sumuk. He is also left the meeting. Impana, Vinay Gangadhar.
Yes, sir, clear.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So the looping construct. So usually it contains so many disturbance, network error, initialization, condition, and increment, and then decrement. Okay. So basically, we'll work with the three conditions. That is, so initialization, condition, and increment and decrement. So basically, the plus plus indicates that so the variable value is increased by one is known as increment. The variable value is decreased by one is known as decrement. Okay. Is that clear? Right, I need to generate the number from 1 to 5 here. I need to generate the number from 1 to 5. Okay, so what should be the initialization value? I need to generate the number from 1 to 5 using while loop concept. So what will be the first initialization value? What will be the
One.
initialization value? Yes, of course. Okay, so I'll write here example here. The initialization value of the variable is I is equal to 1. I'll consider this I is equal to 1. And then, so what will be the condition? What should be the condition? Okay, I is equal to 1, integer I is equal to 1, while what will be the condition? So until how many number you want to generate using while loop? How many number you
5.
want to generate? 5. I should be less than or equal to 5. Is that condition is right? Whatever I
Sir.
written, the unconditional statement. Okay, so if it is true, then series of statements will goes on repeatedly executing. Okay, so we called it as an unconditional looping statement. Okay, right. So what should be you need to print here? I need to print the value I value I need to print. Okay, then what I need to do? I plus plus. That's it. Okay. See, first of all, what is the value of the variable I? What is the value of the variable I? 1. Okay.
1.
So it checks for the condition. Second step. So initialization is over. So it checks for the condition. So why? 1 is less than or equal to 5. Is this condition is true or false? Is this condition is true or false? Hmm. What is this condition becomes? I is less than or equal to 5. Is this condition is true or false? True. Okay. Then what happens here? So it prints the value. Okay. It executes the statement. Okay. So then what will be printed? 1 will be printed. Okay. Is it visible? Is it visible? Just you text me or respond me back. There was a network error. Okay. So what happens here? So condition we have initialized the value I is equal to 1. Our main target is to print the 1 to 5. The number you need to generate 1 to 5. So the initialization value is I is equal to 1. Then the condition will be I is less than or equal to 5, because I need to generate the number from 1 to 5. And then so statement is, so print I and then I plus plus. Okay, so I took 1 here. 1 is less than or equal to 5. The condition is true. Then this statement will print, that is 1. What happens here? I plus plus. What is the purpose of increment operator? So what happens? Plus plus indicates that increasing the value of the variable value by 1. What happens 1? What happens to 1? 1 ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ? What happens to 1? 1 is increased by value 1. It becomes 2. Okay, so what is the looping statement? It executes the statement repeatedly until the condition is true. When the condition false, the loop will be terminated. Okay, here is the condition true. The statement will execute. Then 1 becomes true. Okay, so it is incremented by value 1. That is, it becomes 2. Then it will be 2 now. ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. I plus plus nothing but the 1 is increased by the value 1, that becomes true. Okay, so once again it checks the condition. 2 is less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. What's the I value now? What's the I value after incrementing, checking the condition? What's the I value?
3.
2 will be printed. Okay, so once again,
Initial only you gave 2, no sir. How it will be printed 2?
no. It is increased with the value by 1. Okay. Okay, it becomes 2. It will be repeatedly executing until this condition is true. Increment ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ, so ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು? ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? Then the value of I becomes 2. ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಬರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 1 ನೇನೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆಡ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಮತ್ತೆ I ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? What happens? I value 2. Okay, so once again it checks the condition for 2 is less than or equal to 5. It is also true. Then print. What is prints? 2 it will be printed. Okay, then 2 becomes I plus plus. One other statement will be there, that is I plus plus. Then it is increased by 1, 3. Okay, 3 comes here. So I is equal to become 3 now. So 3 is less than or equal to 5, condition again true. Then 3 will be printed. Next, 3 is increased by 1, that is becomes 4. 4, the I value becomes 4. 4 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, condition is true. Hence again it will be printed here. Okay, so then 4, it is added with 1, then it becomes 5. Then 5, I equals 5. Then 5 is less than or equal to 5. So here it is equal. Okay, condition is true. Then 5 will be printed. Okay, what happens after that? 5 is increased by value 6. Value by 1, that is 6. Okay, so here the value of I becomes 6. 6 is less than or equal to 5. Condition will be false. The loop will be terminated, and then you can generate the number from 1 to 5. This is the concept of looping. Okay, so first we need to understand the initialization value, then we need to give the condition, after that increment or decrement. This is what we call looping statements. The looping statement goes on executing the set of statements, or a set of statement or a group of a statement until some condition is true. Until some condition is true, it repeatedly goes on executing. So when the condition falls, the loop will be terminated. Okay, and our targeted values so we are executed using looping statement. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear, everyone? Okay, please do write down this syntax as well as this one. You put it in just as a note. Okay, after this example.
So should we write that 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5?
Output. This is the output.
Okay, sir.
Yes, of course we need to write output. This is the output we are get. So using looping statement.
So for the examples, we have given initial is equals to 1, no sir. Again and again, should we type the same thing or the same thing continues?
Program, so you indicate that. You should understand. You should understand. So the I value becomes 2, then 3, 4, 5. Okay, don't write any always initialization value again and again. Okay, just you
Okay,
take
sir.
one. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ 2
So
3
yes, sir.
4. That's it. Okay, initialization value will be always taken with 1 0 or whatever. Okay, right. Is this finished? Okay, so one more example here only I will give. So example ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so after that one more example. So I will go with the flow chart of while loop. Okay, right now I need to generate the number from 50 to 100. Okay, you see this 50 to 100. Okay, so what should be the initialization value now? What is the initialization value?
50.
No, this one. Okay, you can say, you
Yes, sir.
can
50.
another variable. Okay, so I will take another variable here. Okay, so I will start with the c. I will take the variable. So what is the insulation value becomes? What is the insulation value I need to take? I need to generate the number from 50 to 100 now. What will be the insulation value? C I am taking, not I. What is the initialization value? Yes, it is 50. Okay, so then c is less than or equal to 100. Okay, and then I need to print what is the variable I have taken, that I need to print, that is c. Right now the increment value is c plus plus, right? The first 50 will be printed, then 51 will be printed. Okay, so it goes on up to 100. After that it increases the value, then it becomes c value becomes 101. Then 101 is less than or equal to 100, then the condition false, the loop will be terminated. So I generated the number from 50 to 100 now. Okay, so we need to remember three things, that is initialization, condition, and then increment and then decrement. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear? Artha aita idu? Looping statement artha aita? Okay, every looping statement will be the same thing. Okay, so the note, so you take it as a note. Okay, note on the ಬರ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ. So initialization, condition, and then plus plus, and then minus minus, increment and decrement. That's it. Finished? Okay, is that clear? Finished? Okay, so shall we write the flowchart for while loop?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so while, okay, otherwise you just write the looping construct as this. Okay, is number is condition. Okay, while condition, while condition. If it is true, executes the statements. Executes the statements. Okay, so repeatedly you put the arrow mark here. Repeatedly it will execute. Repeatedly it will execute when the condition will be true. Right? When the condition gets false, while loop exit or terminated. Okay, if the while condition
So yes, true.
chart for while loop.